Most people are taught how to hide emotions long before they are taught how to understand them. A little boy falls and starts crying. Someone tells him to be strong. A little girl becomes angry. Someone tells her to calm down. A teenager feels afraid. Someone tells them not to worry. An adult feels overwhelmed. Someone tells them to keep going. Again and again, people receive the same message. Do not feel. Control yourself. Hide it. Move on. Stay strong. At first, this sounds reasonable. After all, nobody wants to be controlled by emotions. Nobody wants emotional chaos. Nobody wants to lose control. But there is a difference between controlling emotions and suppressing them. And that difference changes everything. Carl Jung believed that what we refuse to acknowledge does not disappear. It simply moves into the unconscious. And once something becomes unconscious, it continues influencing us without our awareness. Imagine trying to hold a beach ball underwater. You push it down. It resists. You push harder. The deeper you force it beneath the surface, the greater the pressure becomes. Eventually, the ball explodes upward. Emotions work the same way. The emotions we suppress never truly disappear. They wait. And waiting often makes them stronger. Many people spend years suppressing sadness, then suddenly break down over something seemingly insignificant. Others suppress anger, then explode during a minor disagreement. Then develop anxiety without understanding why. The event itself is rarely the real cause. The event simply opens the door. Everything waiting behind that door rushes out at once. This is why emotional reactions sometimes seem irrational. A small criticism creates enormous anger. A minor rejection creates overwhelming despair. A simple inconvenience creates intense frustration. Observers often ask, why are they reacting like this? The answer is usually hidden beneath the surface. The reaction is not only about the present moment. It contains years of accumulated emotional pressure. Years of ignored feelings, years of unresolved experiences, years of emotional debt. Eventually the bill arrives, and when it does, it often arrives all at once. Jung believed that suppression strengthens the shadow. The shadow contains everything we reject about ourselves. Not only behaviors, not only desires, but emotions as well. Fear, jealousy, loneliness, shame, grief, resentment. Many people consider these emotions unacceptable, so they hide them, pretend they do not exist, convince themselves they are fine. The problem is that the unconscious is not fooled. What is denied consciously remains active unconsciously. A person who suppresses anger may become passive-aggressive. A person who suppresses fear may become controlling. A person who suppresses sadness may become emotionally numb. The emotion changes form, but it remains present. This is one of Jung's most important insights. Everything unconscious seeks expression. Everything hidden seeks visibility. Everything suppressed seeks release. The psyche constantly attempts to restore balance, and emotions are one of its primary tools. Many people view emotions as weaknesses, as obstacles, as problems to eliminate. He saw emotions as messengers, signals, information, a message from the unconscious mind. The emotion itself is not the problem. The message is what matters. Anger may indicate that a boundary has been violated. Fear may indicate uncertainty or danger. Sadness may indicate loss. Guilt may indicate conflict between actions and values. Loneliness may indicate a need for connection. Every emotion contains information. When we suppress emotions, we ignore that information. Imagine driving a car and covering every warning light on the dashboard. The lights disappear, but the problems remain. In fact, they usually get worse. Emotional suppression works the same way. Ignoring the signal does not solve the issue. It simply removes awareness. Many psychological problems begin this way. People become disconnected from their emotional world, disconnected from their needs, disconnected from their values, disconnected from themselves. The result is confusion. The person feels unhappy, but does not know why. Restless, but does not know why. Empty, but does not know why. The emotions contain clues, but those clues have been buried. There is another danger hidden inside emotional suppression. It weakens self-knowledge. How can you understand yourself if you refuse to listen to your own emotions? Imagine trying to understand another person while ignoring everything they say. The task would be impossible. Yet many people attempt to understand themselves while ignoring their emotional experiences. They become strangers to themselves, experts on everyone else, strangers to themselves. Jung believed psychological growth requires bringing unconscious material into awareness, not avoiding it, not suppressing it, not running from it, facing it, understanding it, integrating it. This does not mean acting on every emotion. That would create chaos. Feeling anger does not mean attacking someone. Feeling fear does not mean running away. Feeling sadness does not mean giving up. Awareness and action are different things. Mature individuals learn to feel emotions without becoming controlled by them. They acknowledge the emotion, observe it, understand it, then choose how to respond. This is emotional intelligence, not suppression, not emotional outbursts. Awareness, reflection, choice. Perhaps the greatest irony is that people suppress emotions to avoid pain, yet suppression often creates more pain. The pain becomes delayed, complicated, amplified. What could have been processed becomes buried. What could have been understood becomes prolonged. What could have been healed becomes chronic. Eventually, life forces the issue. The emotions return, perhaps through anxiety, perhaps through depression, perhaps through exhaustion, perhaps through conflict. But they return, because emotions do not disappear simply because they are ignored. They wait, patiently, silently, until they can no longer be ignored. The solution is not to fear emotions, nor is it to surrender to them. The solution is understanding, to become curious rather than judgmental, to ask, why am I feeling this? What is this emotion trying to tell me? What needs attention? These questions transform emotions from enemies into teachers. And once that transformation occurs, something remarkable happens. The emotions lose much of their power, because what is understood becomes less frightening. What is acknowledged becomes easier to manage. What is accepted becomes easier to integrate. In the end, emotional strength is not the absence of feeling. It is the ability to face what you feel honestly, without denial, without shame, without fear, because the emotions we suppress do not disappear. They simply wait in the shadows. And sooner or later, every shadow asks to be seen.